Okay, hello finite math students. We're going to work on just one problem in this video. We're going to work on problem 131 in your chapter 3 homework. A student in the class emailed me this morning about this problem and she was having some difficulty with it. So first of all, let me launch Mathematica. Okay. New document. And, as I can see, the font is so small, and I don't like small font. So how would I change that? Well, I'm going to go to Format, Edit, Style Sheet. I'm going to select Input and Output. Okay. And let's see, Show Fonts. I'm going to make that, let's say, 26. And I'm going to do the same for the output. Make that 26. And let's see, what about colors? So text color, the input could be midnight blue, and the output could be, let's see, how about eggplant purple? Select OK. And I want to give my output a background color. So background color could be, how about light pink? Or you know what, I prefer magenta. How about light magenta? There we go. That's very pretty. So you can personalize, your settings. You can make the font bigger or smaller. You can change the colors, and you can, do different things so that using the software is a more visually pleasant experience for you. Okay, let me just get some dirt off of my computer. Okay, so I'm going to close this window. Okay, so let's look at problem 131. So let me just circle this with my marker. This is problem 131. Okay. Okay, the ad for a four-door sedan claims that a monthly payment of $299 constitutes 0% financing. Explain why that is false. Find the annual interest rate compounded monthly that is actually being charged for financing a $16,495 car with 72 monthly payments of $299. So according to the advertisement, we can buy a new four-door sedan, 0 down, 0% financing for $299 per month, or you can buy it for $16,495. It's a four-door sedan, 0% down, 0% for 72 months. The advertisement is false because for 0% financing, the monthly payments should be, well, it's going to be simple. You're just going to take the amount, which is $16,495, and divide it by 72 months. Shift Enter. Now we're getting a fraction, so Mathematica likes fractions. To change this into a floating point number, we're going to use the n function. And you can apply the n function different ways. Okay, you can also apply it like this, for 16,495 divided by 72. Okay. So for 0% financing, you would really expect the monthly payment to be $229.10, not $299. So whoever placed the ad actually lied to you. And remember, guys, you can round this number out to 2 decimal places using the number form command. So number form, the percent symbol refers to my last answer. Infinity is an option that just means give me as many digits as possible. Give me as many digits as possible in your answer. And then the 2 here, the 2 refers to 2 digits after the decimal point. I want 2 digits to follow my decimal point. Shift enter. And that is $229.10. Okay, let's see if that's true. Okay, so that was easy. Okay, so here's the trickier part of the question. If a loan of $16,495 is amortized in 72 payments of $299 for each payment, the annual interest rate is what? Okay, so here is where we go back to the same type of recursive function that I've been showing you ever since we began this chapter. So what is a recursive function? A recursive function is simply a function where the name of the function appears in its own definition. So for example, if I have a function like this, f of x, how about f of x and y is equal to x plus y? Okay, so 1 and 2, f of 1 and 2, well, 1 plus 2 is 3, and 3 plus 9 is 12. Okay, the f is not a recursive function because f does not appear in its own definition. Now here, in order to solve this problem, I have to write a recursive function. And in a recursive function, the name of the function actually does appear in its own definition. So here's what I'm going to do. Balance, as usual, I'm going to call it balance. And I believe the interest is compounded monthly. It says so right here. Let me circle that with my marker. Compounded monthly, right? Okay, so balance of month is equal to, I have to use colon equals when I'm defining a function, okay? 1, and I want my answer to be a floating point number, so I want to use decimals here rather than pure integers, plus my interest, and I'm just going to use I, just the letter I to symbolize interest, divided by 1200. Now remember, why am I dividing by 1200? You're dividing by 100 to change the percent to a decimal, and you're dividing by 12 because you have to change the annual interest rate into a monthly interest rate. Times balance, the previous month's balance, and this is why this function is recursive, because the name of the function appears in its own definition. Okay? The name of the function appears in its own definition. Minus, okay, so every month I pay $299, which means I am decreasing my debt by $299, which is why it's minus instead of plus. I'm not increasing my debt, I'm decreasing my debt. Balance 0. Let's see, my initial, okay, so the car really costs $16,495. $16,495. And I know I have said this in previous videos, I will say this again. I did not type this comma. This comma right over here, Mathematica typed it for me. I did not type it myself. If you type the comma, okay, I guarantee it's not going to work. Mathematica will not give you the right answer, okay? Not at all. Okay, so Shift Enter as usual. Okay, so let's see, 72 payments. Well, I could just do this. This is not going to look very pretty. Okay, right, this is, see, really messy and, messy and complicated. This is very, I mean, it's okay. It is a legitimate output, but it's very messy and very complicated. So we need to expand it. We need to expand it. Expand. Okay, this is a little better. It's still kind of messy and complicated, but now it's a little bit more, simplified. Okay. And this is okay. This is what I'm actually expecting. This is what I'm actually expecting. So here, I'm going to save this result in something called equation, in a variable called equation. And I'm going to set it equal to 0. And I don't really have to see the entire output. I'm going to suppress the output with a semicolon, so Shift Enter, okay? Now here's the deal. So actually, let's take a look at it anyway. Equation, I have to figure out what is I. What is I? What is the value of the variable I? And this looks terribly messy and complicated, right? This looks very, very, very messy and complicated. Not really. You can use, I don't recommend that you use the solve command because that could lead to some problems. Oh, and by the way, in case you're wondering, why do I set the expression equal to 0? Well, because when you're done making your payments, you owe $0. You don't owe anything. So of course it's going to be equal to 0 after 72 months. So what I recommend is use FindRoot, okay? FindRoot. FindRoot. And we're looking for a root of the equation. We're looking for a root, of the equation. And I'm looking for some value for the variable I. And I need to start with an initial guess. So I know that the percentage has to be bigger than 0%. 100%, that's probably too big. I'm going to guess, how about 5%? But I need to start with an initial guess. There has to be an initial guess, okay? And I'm going to guess 5%, maybe 10%, 15, 20, whatever you want to guess, okay? And let's flatten my result to make it look more visually appealing. Shift Enter. Okay, so the answer is 9.20%. 9.20%. And I could actually save that in a variable. I could call it interest is equal to I as it's defined on the previous line. Shift Enter. And then I could do number form, I, give me, give me as many digits as possible, which is why I'm using the infinity keyword, but I want 2 digits to the right of the decimal point. Why 2? Because the problem says round to the nearest hundredth is needed, which means I have to I want 2 digits of precision to the right of the decimal point. So then I press Shift Enter. Oh, I'm sorry, this should be interest. Oops, made a mistake. Okay, interest, not I, interest. Shift Enter. Okay, so 9.20. So the answer should be 9.20%. 9.20%. Okay, and Pearson agrees with me. That is really the answer. That's the answer to the problem. Okay. So just one more thing before we're done with this video. If you're not sure how to use a command in Mathematica, this is one option that you have. So for example, let's say I have questions about this number form function or command. Type 2 question marks, type the name of the command, Shift Enter. Okay, click on, you could click on web if you have a good internet connection, but if you don't, if you're working offline, just click on local. And then you get a help page. You get a help page that describes what this function does, and then you have details and options, you have examples. Read through the examples, look at, the scope, look at options, applications. I mean, some of this may seem overwhelming to you initially, but you may find some examples in here that will help you figure out what to do with the command and how it should be used. Or you could also look this up on the internet using Google. Okay, that's another option. So Mathematica doesn't have to be impossible to use. I know some of you think it's difficult, but it doesn't have to be that difficult. Okay? There are computer programs out there that are much more difficult than Mathematica. Mathematica is, it's not really, it has a reputation for being difficult, but it's really not that bad. It's really not that bad. And many business majors, and I know most of you are business majors, many business majors like to use Excel, Microsoft Excel, but actually Excel, in my opinion, is just as complicated as Mathematica. Excel really is not simple. It's not a simple program. So, it's worth investing some time to learn how to use, these various computer programs, because they may eventually help you with school, your job, your career. It just depends on what you want to do. Okay. All right. I think that this video is long enough, and we will communicate at some time in the future. Your assignment is due tomorrow, March the 8th at 11:59 p.m. No extensions. Nobody gets an extension. You've had plenty of time to finish this assignment, and we really need to start on the next unit. Also, don't forget, you have to complete a quiz for Chapter 3 and also a test for Chapter 3. Your quiz and your test will be posted probably by the end of March 8th, okay, or at the very beginning, very early on March 9th, okay? And that's going to be it. So we will communicate soon. Take care. And that's it.